Hey everybody, my name is Gareth Soloway, master trader at InTheMoneyStocks.com and VerifiedInvestingCrypto.com. And I basically wanted to go over something that I'm seeing in the charts. And this is a really, really important factor that most newer investors are going to totally gloss over and think can't even happen. And the bottom line is this. We're in an unprecedented period here where we're mimicking the 2000 dot-com collapse, as well as past things like the Great Depression and the collapse that we saw off of that. So let's take a look. And basically what I've said is that my call here is that the S&P and the NASDAQ will not make new highs for 10 to 15 years, maybe even longer. And again, most people, most newer investors that come on the scene, they're going to be like, dude, that's crazy. We've seen so many new highs over the last 5-10 years. It can't happen. But take a look at this. This is your chart of the NASDAQ. And number one, see this pop right here, this little mountaintop? That's the dot-com bubble. Now compare it to this move, which was the Federal Reserve infused massive move up of printing money and cheap and low free money by interest rates being at zero. And the key is, just notice that this move right here, it took a full 15 plus years to make new all-time highs on the NASDAQ. And that was just from this little mountaintop. Now think about that mountaintop and that bubble that was created. All right, more kind of examples of this. Take a look at a chart of the EWZ. This is the Brazilian market, right? So it's not just the US markets. The Brazilian market made a high. And look at the run. Look at the similarities between this run here and then this move to the upside. And look at how parabolic it was. And then look at this. 2007, here we are in 2023, 16 years later, and you still haven't even come close to making a new all-time high. Let's go to another chart over here, guys. All right, so let's take a look here. Now, this is a chart going back to the Great Depression. And what we saw in the S&P is look at the vertical move and look at the collapse. And the Great Depression collapse, it actually took, literally, we're talking 20 to 30 years before we took out those highs. It was in the mid-50s, right? So actually, 25 years or so before we made new all-time highs on the S&P 500. And lastly, we'll look at the Hang Seng market. Again, 2007 high. And again, it double-topped here in 2015. And since then, again, has never made a new all-time high. And the point is this, right? Is that the bottom line is that markets have a history of making these massive bubble runs, and then there's a huge period, a huge letdown period of consolidation. And so you have to go into this saying, okay, there's a chance we may not make new all-time highs for 10 to 15 years just by the comparisons, not to mention that this run was literally bigger than any run, even in the 20s, the roaring 20s, this run was bigger. That's scary to me. That should be scary to you. Now, you might be saying, all right, well, what about trading opportunities? Does this mean we're in a bear market? We're not going to make money forever? I mean, this is horrible, right? No, wrong. In bear markets, the best opportunities arise. Ask any of my investors and traders. They'll tell you that we make more money by swing trading markets in bear markets because volatility gives you opportunity. So remember that. Yes, it might not be new all-time highs for 10 to 15 years. It does not mean that we can't make a ton of money in that stretch, and we will be doing that right here.